When the night came, no one knew the city was about to face one of its hardest moments. People moved through their routines, unaware how soon everything would shift. Moments later, the lights went out almost at the same time, as if someone had switched off a massive breaker. Eshan stood by the window of an office building, looking at the darkened districts. Hospitals, homes with small children, a nursing home on the outskirts. Units where life support machines had to run without interruption. All of them were now without power. He was the youngest manager in the energy company, only 2 weeks into the job, and tonight he faced his first real challenge. His phone vibrated. "Eshan, come to the control center, urgently!" Inside the room, chaos took over. Huge screens flashed with red zones, overloaded lines, disabled nodes, emergency stations. "Half the city is without electricity," the senior engineer said. "If we don't restore the system by morning, the consequences will be serious." Everyone turned to Eshan. Too young, too new, too inexperienced for a night like this. Someone whispered, "Finishing before sunrise. Impossible." Another one said, "The system is too damaged. The main lines won't hold." "Honestly, the system's too damaged," a tired voice added from the corner. Silence fell, heavy and tense. No one moved. And in that stillness, Eshan understood. People weren't incapable. They had simply stopped believing. The thought awakened something familiar. A lesson from long ago rose to the surface. That progress begins the moment you stop looking at limits and start looking at possibilities. Eshan took a deep breath, stepped forward and said, "Let's start with something simple. The question isn't, can we do it? The question is, are we willing to try?" The room fell quiet. Everyone turned their attention to him. Eshan walked to the board, picked up a marker and wrote, "Why we can't do it?" Then, next to it, "How we can restore the power by morning." He stopped for a moment. "I'm erasing the why we can't column. Excuses don't matter. We'll focus only on how to get it done. No matter how confusing the questions are, we won't step back." And suddenly, ideas began to surface. "We can shut down business districts for the night," said Maya, the calm analyst. "We can reroute power from the industrial zone," added Elias, an engineer with a tired face but steady voice. "Let's connect private generators to the hospitals," said Nora, energetic and sharp. "Repair teams can work in parallel, instead of one after another," said Leo, the young technician. Eshan listened, wrote down ideas, and asked sharp questions. For the first time that night, the hopelessness faded from people's faces. In 1 hour, they had a plan. In 2, a full schedule. In 3, teams were already on site. They worked in the cold, in rain, in strong wind. Voltage drops, short circuits, overloads. Problems appeared one after another. But every time, Eshan repeated, "Don't think about why it's failing. Think about how to fix it." The night was long, exhausting. But by 4 in the morning, the first large district came back online. By 5, the second. By 6, half the city had power again. And when the first sunlight touched the rooftops, the last emergency line was restored. The entire city lit up. The senior engineer approached Eshan. "I misjudged you. You did more than anyone expected." Eshan smiled tiredly. "No, we did this. We stopped thinking about obstacles and started thinking about solutions." Each of us has stood at that point where it feels easier to explain why nothing will work. It's familiar, and it's easy to get stuck there. But everything changes when the question changes. Not why is it impossible, but what can I do to make it work? A small shift like this brings back a sense of control and gives you the strength to act.
Yes, my dear friends. Sometimes one small step is all it takes to see that the way forward was closer than it seemed. We just needed the courage to try. May you always find that quiet step when you need it most. See you in the next chapter.